Some zodiac signs are meant to be understood, but some are meant to be experienced. Welcome back to the channel where every zodiac sign is not just explained but unveiled like an ancient secret hidden within the stars. Today we enter the darkest, deepest, and most transformative sign of the zodiac. A sign that remembers what the world has forgotten, a sign that hides pain, power, and rebirth behind silent eyes. Welcome to the mysterious world of Scorpio. Scorpio is the eighth sign of the zodiac. It is a fixed water sign ruled by Mars in classical astrology, and Ketu is deeply connected to its spiritual nature. Scorpio doesn't represent emotions alone, it represents secrets, trauma, deep memory, transformation, death and rebirth, occult sciences, hidden truth, mysticism, psychology, surgery, hidden wealth, and karma. Water signs stores memories, but Scorpio stores the deepest memories. It remembers every betrayal, every heartbreak, every insult, every promise, every silence. Scorpio never truly forgets. One of the greatest predictive rules of Scorpio is the problem is never what it looks like. Whenever Scorpio influences a house, the root cause stays hidden. People keep solving symptoms while the real issue remains buried beneath the surface. Just like an iceberg, only a tiny part is visible. Scorpio suppresses, it absorbs, it listens, it observes. Instead of expressing emotions immediately, Scorpio keeps collecting them until one day everything explodes. This is why Scorpio people often surprise others. The world sees silence, but inside, an entire storm has been growing. Scorpio rules everything hidden: mysteries, darkness, research, occult sciences, hidden enemies, inheritance, taxes, insurance, psychology, surgery, and transformation. Even planets placed in Scorpio become difficult to judge because Scorpio hides their true expression. Scorpio behaves like a magnet. It attracts exactly what lies opposite to it. The seventh house from Scorpio naturally gets activated. This creates fascinating predictions. For example, if Scorpio becomes your ascendant, relationships automatically come towards you. If Scorpio falls in the 12th house, you may attract enemies, diseases, or workplace competition because the 6th house gets activated. Scorpio stands opposite Taurus. Taurus represents earned wealth. Scorpio represents wealth that comes unexpectedly from inheritance, insurance, government compensation, sudden financial gains, hidden treasure. Scorpio teaches that not all wealth is earned through effort. Some comes through destiny. Scorpio governs the private and reproductive organs, making it the sign of intimacy, creation, regeneration, and transformation. Just as these organs have the power to create new life, Scorpio symbolizes the mysterious cycle where every ending carries the seed of a new beginning. Scorpio is the sign of rebirth. Its symbol is often compared to the phoenix, the mythical bird that burns completely in its own flames only to rise again from its own ashes, stronger, wiser, and more radiant than before. This is the essence of Scorpio. Life repeatedly tests Scorpio natives through emotional losses, betrayals, endings, and profound transformations. Yet, every crisis becomes an opportunity for renewal. While many people break under pressure, Scorpio has the remarkable ability to rebuild itself from the deepest darkness. It is the zodiac's greatest symbol of resilience. Let's understand the symbolism of the scorpion. The scorpion itself beautifully reflects the nature of the sign. Scorpions are among the oldest surviving creatures on earth. They have endured for hundreds of millions of years because they are incredibly adaptable and resilient. They survive in harsh environment where many other creatures cannot, conserving their energy and striking only when necessary. Likewise, Scorpio natives rarely waste their energy. They are patient observers rather than impulsive reactors. They watch, understand, and wait for the right moment before taking action. Their strength lies not in constant movement but in quiet endurance and perfect timing. The scorpion is also nocturnal, comfortable in darkness where others feel lost. Symbolically, Scorpio is drawn towards life's hidden dimensions, psychology, secrets, occult knowledge, healing, research, and the subconscious mind. While others fear darkness, Scorpio searches it for truth. Its hard outer shell protects a soft interior. In the same way, Scorpio people often appear calm, distant, or difficult to read, while beneath that protective exterior, they experience emotions with extraordinary depth. One of the most touching qualities of the real Scorpion is its devotion to its young. Unlike many invertebrates, female scorpions give birth to live babies. The newborns are fragile and immediately climb onto their mother's back, where she carries and protects them until they become strong enough to survive on their own. This mirrors another side of Scorpio that many people overlook. Behind the intense exterior lies fierce loyalty and protectiveness. When Scorpio truly loves someone, they become a guardian. They protect their family, partner, and loved ones with unwavering commitment. They may not always express affection through words, but through sacrifice, presence, and silent strength. Scorpio teaches us that transformation is not something to fear. Sometimes life asks us to let go of old identities, painful memories, unhealthy relationships, or limiting belief. To the outside world, this may look like destruction, but Scorpio reminds us that it is actually rebirth. Just as the phoenix rises from its ashes and the scorpion survives where few others can, Scorpio shows us that our deepest wounds can become our greatest source of power. Scorpio doesn't promise an easy life, it promises the strength to rise every time life asks you to begin again. Scorpio never forgets and rarely forgives. A Scorpio placement doesn't easily let go of emotional wounds, especially humiliation or disrespect. They may remain silent, but they remember every detail. Betrayal leaves a lasting mark on their soul. Scorpio believes in calculated action. Scorpio doesn't react impulsively, it observes, waits, and acts only when the timing is perfect. Every move is strategic rather than emotional. Scorpio is the sign of transformation, Being the natural ruler of the 8th house, Scorpio represents death and rebirth. Not necessarily physical death, but the death of old self. Every painful experience becomes an opportunity for profound transformation. Never judge a Scorpio placement too quickly. What appears to be a curse today may become your greatest blessing tomorrow. Scorpio works in mysterious ways, and its true purpose often reveals itself only with time. Many Scorpio ascendants tend to have a short to medium height, a magnetic presence, intense eyes, and an aura that naturally commands attention. Scorpio carries Ketu-like energy. Although Scorpio is traditionally ruled by Mars, many astrologers also associate it with Ketu because of its spiritual, mysterious, and transformative qualities. Ketu may appear small or invisible, but its impact on life is immense. The secret to Scorpio is surrender. The more you force matters related to your Scorpio house, the more resistance you may experience. Sometimes the greatest growth comes when you surrender your desires, trust God, and allow life to unfold naturally. Scorpio often brings unsolvable problems. Certain Scorpio experiences cannot be solved through logic alone. They demand patience, acceptance, inner strength, and spiritual evolution. Scorpio becomes your greatest strength with time. What hurts you the most today often becomes your greatest source of wisdom tomorrow. Scorpio rewards those who trust the divine process and surrender to God's timing. Even after a scorpion dies, its tail can still move. Symbolically, Scorpio's influence continues long after an event has ended. Some experiences leave permanent psychological and spiritual impressions. Scorpio also represents the mother's pregnancy period. The hidden months inside the mother's womb perfectly reflect Scorpio's symbolism, darkness, secrecy, protection, and the unseen process of creation before birth. Scorpio often asks us to sacrifice our personal fortune for a greater purpose. Many astrologers, for example, use their own spiritual merit and energy while helping others find direction. Notice something beautiful in the zodiac. After Scorpio comes Sagittarius, the sign ruled by Jupiter, the Guru. This symbolizes that only after deep transformation, surrender, and the death of the ego does true wisdom and the Guru enters our lives. That is why surrender is the highest lesson of Scorpio. Let go of control, trust God, and allow divine intelligence to guide your journey. Scorpio is deeply passionate, whether it is love, spirituality, work, or personal growth. Scorpio never does anything halfway. It pours its entire heart and soul into whatever truly matters. A strong connection between 5th house, intuition, intelligence, and divine knowledge, and the 8th house, occult wisdom, hidden knowledge, and transformation often indicates exceptional astrological ability. This can happen when the 5th lord is placed in the 8th house, the 8th lord is placed in the 5th house. The natural significator of the 5th house, the sun, is connected with the natural significator of the 8th house, Ketu. A strong Sun-Ketu connection often gives a person deep intuition, interest in mystical sciences, and the ability to understand hidden truth beyond ordinary perception. Scorpio is not flowing water like Cancer. Cancer is the river that expresses, nurtures, and carries emotions forward. Scorpio is the deep, muddy water at the bottom of a lake, still, mysterious, hidden treasures as well as dangers. You cannot see through it, it keeps its secrets. Perhaps this is one reason no planet is traditionally exalted in Scorpio. Transformation is rarely comfortable. Growth demands endings, surrender, and rebirth. Most beings naturally seek comfort and stability, not the painful process of shedding an old identity. Do you know why the moon considered debilitated in Scorpio? In astrology, the moon represents the mind, emotions, memories, security, and our need to feel emotionally safe. Scorpio, however, asks the moon to descend into darkness. Instead of expressing feelings freely, it tends to observe them, protect them, and sometimes bury them. The emotional world becomes intense, private, and deeply layered. Trust is earned slowly, and emotional experiences often leave lasting impressions. This placement can create a mind that constantly looks beneath the surface. It rarely accepts appearances at face value. It wants to know why people behave the way they do, what they are hiding, and what truth exists beyond their words. Because of this penetrating quality, Moon in Scorpio is often associated with people who excel in fields requiring investigation and depth. They may be drawn towards psychology, research, forensic work, intelligence analysis, astrology, occult studies, healing, or any discipline where hidden patterns must be uncovered. Their strength lies in their willingness to explore what others avoid. If emotionally balanced, this placement can produce remarkable resilience, intuition, and insight. If overwhelmed, the same intensity may become suspicion, emotional guardedness, or difficulty letting go of painful memories. The lesson of the moon in Scorpio is not to suppress emotions forever, it is to transform them. When emotional depth becomes wisdom instead of burden, the muddy water settles and hidden treasures become visible. Now let's see how different planets behave in a Scorpio sign. The sun represents the soul, ego, confidence, father, authority, and one's purpose in life. When the sun enters Scorpio, it shines through darkness instead of light. These natives are born with an extraordinary ability to survive life's deepest storms. Rather than seeking external validation, they constantly transform themselves through crisis. They possess tremendous willpower, emotional endurance, and strategic thinking. They rarely reveal their true intentions and prefer working silently behind the scenes. Their life often unfolds through major endings and new beginnings, making them stronger with every challenge. The relationship with the father may be complex, secretive, or transformative, and authority figures often become catalyst for profound personal growth. The sun in Scorpio teaches that true power is not domination, it is mastering oneself after every fall. Mars in Scorpio. Mars is the traditional ruler of Scorpio, making this one of its strongest placements. Unlike Mars in Aries, which acts immediately, Mars in Scorpio is patient, strategic, and calculated. These people never waste their energy on unnecessary battles. They observe, plan, and strike only when success is almost certain. Their courage is silent rather than loud. They possess incredible endurance and can work on difficult goals for years without losing focus. Mars here excels in surgery, military, strategy, intelligence services, research, investigation, psychology, and occult sciences. Their sexual energy is also extremely powerful because Scorpio rules intimacy and deep emotional bonding. Once they decide on a goal, very little can stop them. This is the energy of the warrior who wins through patience rather than speed. Mercury in Scorpio. Mercury governs intelligence, speech, communication, learning, and logic. In Scorpio, Mercury becomes deeply investigative. These natives dislike superficial conversations and naturally search for hidden meanings behind every word and situation. They are excellent researchers, psychologists, detectives, astrologers, investigators, forensic experts, and analysts because they enjoy solving mysteries that others ignore. Their speech is measured and secretive. They speak only when necessary and often reveal very little about themselves. Their mind can become obsessive, constantly analyzing situations until every hidden detail is understood. They are gifted at uncovering lies because they instinctively notice inconsistencies that escape others. Mercury in Scorpio transforms ordinary intelligence into profound insight. Moon in Scorpio. The moon is debilitated in Scorpio because the moon seeks peace, comfort, and emotional safety, while Scorpio constantly dives into hidden emotions, fear, loss, and transformation. These individuals feel emotions more intensely than most people. Their memory is exceptionally strong. They rarely forget emotional experiences, betrayals, or acts of kindness. They often hide their feelings behind a calm exterior, making them appear emotionally strong even when they are deeply affected within. This placement grants remarkable intuition, psychological insight, and an almost psychic ability to sense people's hidden intentions. However, emotional healing becomes one of their greatest life lessons. Once they learn to release the past instead of holding on to it, they become powerful emotional healers capable of guiding others through darkness. Jupiter in Scorpio. Jupiter represents wisdom, higher knowledge, teachers, faith, prosperity, and spiritual growth. In Scorpio, wisdom is not acquired through comfort but through transformation and life's deepest experiences. These individuals are naturally drawn towards psychology, astrology, tantra, mysticism, healing, ancient scriptures, and spiritual sciences. They seek truth hidden beneath appearances rather than accepting conventional belief. Financial gains often come through research, inheritance, insurance, investment, or hidden resources. Their teachers and gurus usually enter their lives after periods of suffering or personal crisis. Jupiter in Scorpio ultimately teaches that the greatest wisdom is born from transformation, not from easy success. Venus in Scorpio. Venus represents love, beauty, relationships, luxury, pleasure, art, and attraction. In Scorpio, love becomes profound, intense, and life changing. These individuals never love halfway, they seek complete emotional and spiritual union with their partner. Casual relationships rarely satisfy them because they crave absolute trust and deep emotional intimacy. Their magnetic aura naturally attracts people, but their relationships often become powerful catalysts for transformation. If emotionally insecure, this placement may express itself through possessiveness, jealousy, or fear of betrayal. When spiritually evolved, Venus in Scorpio becomes one of the most loyal, devoted, and passionate placements in astrology. Love for them is not entertainment, it is a sacred process of death and rebirth. Saturn in Scorpio. Saturn signifies karma, discipline, responsibility, delays, endurance, and maturity. In Scorpio, Saturn forces a person to confront hidden fears, emotional wounds, and unresolved karmic patterns. Life may bring long period of emotional isolation, family burdens, financial uncertainty, or psychological struggles. However, these challenges gradually develop extraordinary resilience, patience, and emotional mastery. These individuals become capable of handling situations that would overwhelm others. Saturn in Scorpio also favors careers involving research, mining, investigation, law, medicine, healing, and crisis management. It teaches that lasting strength is forged only after facing one's deepest fears without running away. Rahu in Scorpio. Rahu magnifies whatever it touches, and in Scorpio, it amplifies the themes of secrecy, obsession, fear, hidden knowledge, and emotional intensity. The native may become fascinated by astrology, tantra, psychology, conspiracy, mysteries, or occult sciences. However, Rahu can also create illusions, making the person imagine problems, betrayals, or enemies that may not actually exist. Emotional instability, anxiety, self sabotage, and extreme reactions can arise if the energy is not consciously managed. Rahu in Scorpio gives a relentless desire to uncover forbidden knowledge, but true growth occurs only when the native transforms fear into wisdom. Without self awareness, Rahu's research for control can create unnecessary suffering. Ketu in Scorpio. Ketu shares a natural affinity with Scorpio because both represents detachment, hidden karma, spiritual transformation, and liberation. This placement often indicates deep karmic experiences from previous lives related to loss, occult practices, warfare, healing, or spiritual disciplines. Ketu removes attachment to worldly pleasures and pushes the native inward towards self discovery. There may be periods of emotional withdrawal, loneliness, or a feeling that no external achievement brings lasting satisfaction. The combination of Mars' desire for action and Ketu's desire for renunciation creates an inner conflict between worldly ambition and spiritual freedom. When directed wisely, Ketu in Scorpio can produce exceptional astrologers, mystics, healers, spiritual researchers, and seekers of ultimate truth. Now let's see how Scorpio behaves in all the 12 houses of zodiac. Scorpio in the first house makes magnetic, mysterious, and impossible to read. Life transforms you repeatedly, making you stronger after every storm. Scorpio in second house gives powerful speech that can heal or wound. Wealth comes through patience, research, or hidden resources. Scorpio in third house makes fearless communicator with immense mental courage. You succeed by taking calculated risk and staying persistent. Scorpio in fourth house, deep emotional bond with home, yet inner peace comes late. Life may bring sudden changes related to property or mother. A Scorpio in 5th house gives intense love life and highly intuitive intelligence, excellent for occult studies, research, and creative depth. A Scorpio in 6th house makes the native powerful fighter who defeats enemies through strategy. You rise by overcoming crisis, debt, and competition. A Scorpio in 7th house, relationships are passionate, transformative, and karmic. A loyal partner is expected, but betrayal is rarely forgiven. A Scorpio in 8th house, the true house of Scorpio, rebirth, mystery, and hidden power. Exceptional potential for astrology, psychology, healing, and research. A Scorpio in 9th house, your beliefs are shaped by life's deepest experiences. You seek hidden truth rather than blindly following traditions. A Scorpio in 10th house, a career built through resilience and silent determination. Success comes in fields involving investigation, finance, medicine, or strategy. A Scorpio in 11th house, a small but fiercely loyal circle of friends. Big gains come through long-term planning and influential networks. A Scorpio in 12th house, a soul drawn towards spirituality, solitude, and mystical experiences. Hidden enemies fade away as you surrender and embrace inner transformation. And so, our journey through the mysterious kingdom of Scorpio comes to an end. But Scorpio reminds us that endings are never truly endings. Every tear carries the seed of wisdom, every betrayal awakens hidden strength, every goodbye prepares the soul for a greater hello. Scorpio is not the darkness we should fear. It is the darkness when stars are born. Like the phoenix, it burns only to rise higher. Like the scorpion, it survives the harshest desert, and like the soul itself, it transforms again and again until it discovers its highest truth. If life has ever broken you, Scorpio whispers gently, you were never meant to remain broken. You were meant to be reborn. Thank you for walking this mystical path with me. If this video touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. In our next journey, we will unlock another hidden secret of the zodiac, because every sign is a chapter, every planet is a teacher, and every birth chart is a sacred story written across the heavens. Until then, keep looking at the stars, keep seeking the truth, and remember, the universe never hides its secret from those who are patient enough to listen.